Well, hello everybody. Happy November 6th. It's almost 10 a.m. here in Portugal, and we've had a very exciting uh, election, and it looks like Trump has a mandate. He won handily. It's not all in yet, but you've been watching probably. The world's been watching. It's amazing. The whole world's watching. It's going to be a great world. Everybody's going to be incredible. America is going to take care of the world again. There's going to be peace. The wars are going to end. People are going to make incredibly beautiful paychecks. Oh my God. And the paychecks are going to be gorgeous. So anyway, good old Trump. I have to admit that the first time he won, uh, I was suffering from Trump derangement syndrome because I was watching a lot of mainstream media, MSM, uh, you know, Rachel Maddow and CNN. I can't stand those outlets anymore or those journalists. But anyway, at the time I was watching them, I was living in Hong Kong and watching them quite frequently, daily. And, they had Russiagate, which Aaron Maté debunked and other people eventually. I followed them as well during that time. And, but it got to me, I was just watching this vitriol, because I never really liked Donald Trump that much. I thought he was a talented reality TV show, game show host and amusing, interesting fellow. But I also was aware that he was a charlatan and a con man. And, it's like one would want to have a person of better character as one's president. One might, I might be one such person. But anyway, so after Obama let me down so badly after the financial crisis and the drone wars and all that stuff, I became more cynical about politics. I was hoping there would be something better, but I was hanging out with my friends, especially working class airplane mechanics in Hong Kong that lived in the neighborhood that I lived in, which was close to the airport, who were Trump people and other people, just Republicans I knew. And after Obama, I changed to an independent, and I don't vote in a swing state, so I didn't vote for Harris or Trump. Just so you know, I wasn't very impressed by the whole Harris thing at all. And so I was fairly disappointed in the candidates, just like I was when Hillary was running against Trump. I didn't really like Hillary at all. And so that was one thing I could agree with my friends, Republican friends and Trump friends in Hong Kong about, was that I didn't like Hillary. So there you go. We had so much to agree on, so much common ground. But anyway, I've thought for a long time that even going back to Clinton, that these parties, they just feel entitled. The party machines, and I've mentioned Simone Weil many times, but these party machines exist to keep running. Basically, they're a business that can't shut down. They have to keep running. The thing that makes me feel sad is that so many people have so much faith in Donald Trump, and I hope that President Trump does something good for people in the United States, for his voters and the rest of the people in the United States. But neither candidate addresses any concerns that I have about the United States, the economy of the world. As you know, if you've watched my videos, I'm more concerned with biodiversity, with the integrity of our ecosystems, with I'm more of an eco-fascist, but I wouldn't be an eco-fascist. But I believe that, uh, inequality is a thing, that postmodernism is a thing, that the neocon movement and neoliberalism is a thing, that Christian Zionism is a thing, that Christian fanaticism is a thing. And these things don't bode well for the future of the human race. They're faith-based. You can believe in them, but the evidence isn't there. One thing I know for certain is that American people don't give a hoot about evidence, whether they're Democrats or Republicans. They want to feel good. They want somebody to tell them that they're going to take care of them and do things for them. And that's, always been like that. You have to tell the plebs and proles that you're going to do something for them so you can get their support. And then once you're in office or in power, you can blow them off and go about making hordes of money. you know, and this goes way back probably to before Babylon. I noticed reading today that they found a walled city in Saudi Arabia that goes back like 1,400 years BCE, and it was a walled city, 500 to 1,000 population, with ramparts and walls and farming areas. It's pretty interesting. It goes way back, when human beings started domesticating everything, our species, Homo sapiens sapiens, and domesticating ourselves and living in large-scale communities and competing for resources with our neighbors, kingdoms, and all that kind of thing developed. So, you can study deep time. You can go back and study various hominids and evolution. These things are all complicated to people. Systems theory and complexity theory and the theory of evolution and gravity and physics and thermodynamics and so on. These are all complicated things, complex things that people don't have much time to wrap their heads around. So they're more concerned about their auto shop, their flower shop, their distribution business, their farm, their trucking business, whatever, the cost of gasoline, the cost of groceries, and all that kind of thing. It's interesting, in Ireland and in Portugal, they've had periods where a lot of people have left the home country to go abroad because they couldn't make a living at home. What do you call those people? Migrants, immigrants? Whether they made it ultimately into the United States legally or not. So not all Irish immigrants to the United States were legal immigrants. Plenty went through Ellis Island, I know, and Italians and so on. But then people in Portugal today are worried about immigrants and immigration and migrants and so on, even though they depend on migrants for picking the fruit here and other labor, construction and so on. You just can't find anyone to do anything here. You pretty much have to do it yourself. Unless you're very wealthy, you can get contractors to come in and put a deck up for you, or put in a new bathroom or something like that. If not, you can go and try to buy things here, and getting them installed is very difficult. So no place is perfect. People are concerned with populist issues, and it's a thing. This is because neoliberalism is a thing and global capitalism is a thing. And it's not serving people very well. And people don't understand why they're unhappy. So there are increases in metabolic disease in the United States, diseases, type 2 diabetes, suicide rates, a decline in life expectancy for men, and other problems in the U.S. Why is that? Is it Guatemalan immigrants causing it? Is it communists? What boogeyman? Where can we point the finger? Who can we blame? Uh, Looking at our own system and interrogating it and trying to imagine a better way of doing things is a lot more difficult and requires one to educate oneself to a degree that's ominous and almost impossible for normal people. So if I say people are ignorant, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I'm absolutely sure that I'm incredibly ignorant about some things that you know and do well and skills you have. I may be aware of this, that, and the other thing that you're not aware of because I've read more about these things, but it doesn't make me an expert. It doesn't make me smarter than you. And I think sometimes Democrats and elites, whether they're whatever party they're from, forget that people aren't stupid, that they have intuition, and these intuitions are good. They're just ignorant. And sometimes you can take advantage of people's ignorance through propaganda and information and public relations and so on, and get people to go along with things that are against their best interests. Will Elon Musk make the government more efficient? Obviously, for a long time, he's gotten a lot of handouts from the US government to do his stuff. And he wouldn't have survived without those handouts or without those investments from US taxpayers. And he's been able to take out loans on his stock to the tune of hundreds of millions, $500 million. People don't seem to mind because Americans love famous people and they love rich people and they love gangsters. Look at all the TV shows. And look at the history of gangsters and criminals and outlaws and so on and so forth. The United States has been infused with violence from its birth before it became a republic. Look at all the wars that were happening on the North American continent before the American Republic, the USA, was established. And think of the time it took for all those states, to become part of the republic. It just didn't happen overnight, and a lot of other people had to be conquered and displaced and destroyed before it could happen. And you come up with a fairly interesting country, powerful country with a lot of resources. If the US couldn't exploit global resources, it wouldn't be as rich. But the business people in the United States, the capitalists and the bankers and the international financial people and the ideologues, the economists, are very good at playing this game, and they're very good at getting us to believe in it. So we do. And then we become dependent on it, and it gives us a lot of good things. It gives us heat, it gives us gasoline for our cars, it gives us nice houses and stuff. A lot of people don't have that, which is extremely stressful when you look at inequality, but people don't seem to care about that. Nobody's going to read Thomas Piketty's book. It's thick, it's full of data and math, and it's just too complicated. Nobody cares about that stuff. And fringe economists like Hudson, people aren't going to read him because he talks about things that just are not of the mainstream. I list a lot of websites on my website, links to alternative ways to think about economics and also books and so on about that. But people, by and large, don't care. So the mandate that Trump got was, in my opinion, at the moment, we're sick of being told how stupid we are, and we're sick of everybody telling us that our guy, Donald Trump, is a criminal and Hitler and Mussolini and a fascist. We want to get things done. We want something different. We want to have good jobs again, and we want to have cheaper groceries again. And he says he can fix it. And by God, I believe him. Plus, there's a lot of people of faith who really do, in their heart of hearts, think that he's anointed by God and anointed by God, and so on and so forth. So these people are true believers, and belief is a thing, and it feels really, really good once you believe. Once you're all in on a belief, you don't have to question it anymore. Evidence doesn't matter. Data doesn't matter. Good reasons to believe something doesn't matter anymore. Logic doesn't matter. And you can have all kinds of great logical, good logic and good reasons to believe things that are ridiculous. It's just something that human beings are capable of doing. We fool ourselves very easily. And the most intelligent of us are often the most easily fooled because we believe that we're that smart. I think Donald Trump believes he's that smart. He's obviously got a lot of energy. He's a fighter. He's a survivor. He won. He's going to be president, whether whether some people like it or not. And I really doubt that he's going to give his supporters what they want. But as long as they believe they're getting from him what they want, they'll be happy. Even if you look at the numbers and the evidence and it doesn't look like they're getting anything that they wanted. As long as the perception is that the immigration is down and illegal migrants are down and illegal immigration is down and the border is secure and our leader's strong and America's #1 again and so on and so forth, they'll be happy, especially if cost of living goes down. But it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And the people who are in Trump's, well, his advisors, the people who really know how to work with him and really use him well and really believe in his brand of politics, are not working for the common person, I don't believe. So call me cynical. But I think there's a good chance that the whole thing could be a disaster, but maybe not. Maybe things are great and the Republicans take over the House and the Senate for 4 years, and J.D. Vance becomes president for 8 years, and we frack, baby, frack, because we're not going to be drilling, baby, drilling that much, because you have to read the book Energy Return on Investment, Unifying Principle for Biology, Economics, and Sustainability by Charles A.S. Hall to understand peak oil and finite resources. And you have to read Alice J. Friedman, Life After Fossil Fuels, a reality check on alternative energy. And you have to read William R. Cotton Jr., who published years ago about overshoot and so on. But you won't do that because we want to believe that there's tons of copper at the bottom of the ocean and on asteroids and on Mars, and we're going to get it. We're going to produce more and more. And we don't want to understand Jevons paradox, which says that the more energy we get and efficient energy we get, the more we use. And we live in a material world that's finite. So we're going to eventually run out of things, but maybe not in your lifetime, maybe not in your children's lifetime. So who cares? But we do have this terrible climate problem that's not getting any better, and it's only going to get worse, whether you believe it or not. So we can avoid the evidence, we can avoid the data, we can avoid thinking about it logically and rationally and carefully. We can avoid interrogating our own beliefs. But nature is nature. Big nature trumps big business every time. And at the end of the day, we've had a blip, a big fossil fuel spike that helped us achieve an amazing way of life, but has also caused all kinds of problems around the world. we forget about the world wars. We forget. I think, if something happens and what's going on in the Middle East that you can't talk about, you can say that a certain community of people are dying. You can't say why they're dying. Um, you can say there's a war in Ukraine, but you can't say why did the war happen. It has to be simplistic. There's a bad guy, he started it, and that's all you can say, basically. People who delve into these things and can tell you exactly what happened, however complex that is, all the various causes of the event and the war or whatever. You don't want to know. It's and it's over there, so you don't care. And if it were in your backyard, it wouldn't matter anyway, because you would just be trying to survive, and you'd be on one side or the other trying to kill the other people on the other side. So whatever. We're not going to really get a handle on this, I don't think. So we'll just have to see what happens. I really do. I hate to say hope, because who cares what I hope? But I don't want to see people suffer. I don't want to. I would like to see Trump voters happy, and I'd like to see Democratic voters happy. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. So we're going to have to live through what we have to live through. There's no way around it. So the only way out is through, or whatever, as they say. I think if you were curious about, why the world's at scale, there's another good book, Any Way You Slice It, by Stan Cox, where he talks about a new world of rationing. Ultra Society by Peter Turchin. Big Gods. It's a great book about how monotheism and these ideas of God shifted historically. And they're beautiful books because they're not really ideological. They're just trying to look at things scientifically and dissect the reasons behind these things. Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. That's a great book. How We Got Here is another good one, and Propaganda by Jacques Ellul that I talked about yesterday. We don't know what determines our thoughts, ideas, and feelings. We think we do, but we don't. But we have them. And Trump has a great emotional appeal to people. He makes them feel something. I don't think Kamala Harris really had that, but if you look at things, Trump probably won the popular vote and the Electoral College, more votes in the Electoral College than he did last time. And it's pretty much of a landslide for him. But at the same time, it's only about 50% of the people supported him. And the other, I mean, you can't really say that in absolute terms, because a lot of people didn't vote. A lot of people voted third party, and so on, of registered voters or people who could vote or could register to vote. So anyway, but about 50-50 of those people who are politically active in the sense that they vote voted for the other side. So, you don't have like any cohesion in the culture where people are saying, yeah, this particular party or group or this leader, we really like him, So it's a lesser of two evils type of thing. Terrible position to be in, but that seems to be the way human beings shake out. And, people have ideas about why this is psychological and sociological and whatnot. But anyway, life goes on. So, we're going to have a very, 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 very different kind of uh, government in power, uh, but it's not going to be that different. So it's still going to serve the great game and the players of the great game, like Musk and Peter Thiel. And you think about the billionaires, they're going to make out like bandits. They doubled their wealth in the last 4 years. And they're going to double their wealth again. So the rich are going to get extremely richer and richer and richer. It's going to be great. The rich are going to get so rich, you won't believe it. And then they're going to take care of you because the rich love you so much. They love you very much. It's amazing how much they love you. So it's going to be, you're going to have faith and hope that, they're going to have your best interests at heart. And in the meantime, things are going to continue the way they are. And I doubt, honestly, in 4 years that people are going to, they're going to say, like they say every 4 years, uh, do you feel better off than you did 4 years ago? And half the people are going to say, yes, you did a great job. The other half are going to say, no. And so it's going to be the same thing regardless. And, storms are going to happen. We don't know why. It's mysterious. The weather is mysterious. Who knows why? And FEMA's going to be either good or bad. JFK Jr. is going to take care of your health. Good luck with that. I read science-based medicine blog, Stephen Novella, people like that. And so I'm not a big fan of this kind of ideologically based medicine. I like science-based medicine, but go figure. Um, and then trust in institutions. Are we going to trust our institutions now? Half will, half won't. Uh, is Steve Bannon going to be able to realize the dismantling of the administrative state? And what about Project 2025? How's that going to go? Did anyone even read it? Um, I would be very happy if the war in Ukraine was somehow brought to an end through Trump's leadership. I think that'd be great. I can't see that that would happen in the Middle East because I don't really think Trump cares about those people who are dying in the Middle East. And as he said during his acceptance speech today, um, the Israel lobby is very powerful, and you don't go against it. So that's going to remain in place. I don't think you can point fingers at anybody and blame anybody for for Vice President Harris's loss. People did what they felt was right if they didn't vote for her, and they didn't get behind her. I really didn't see much there for me personally, but if I don't think things would have changed much if she were elected. I just don't see it. Not for things that I think are important. So who knows? We got homeschooling and we got a theocracy coming in the United States. I don't know. And if Kamala Harris got elected, um, then we would have communists. Everyone would be socialist. That's ridiculous. It's stupid to think that, but many people do because they've been told that, and it's easier just to believe what they've been told than to think about it. And who knows what communism is? Who knows what socialism is? And what is it anyway? I mean, where do you point in the world and say this is the model? This is the best model of it, and why we should emulate this model because look at the results. The history of the U.S. is full of violence. When people try to do things that go against America Inc., they get beaten up, they get bombed, they get, the agencies are sicked on them, the black ops, and people suffer. Because you just can't go against Uncle Sam. He's the big boss, and Uncle Sam to me represents a kind of global capitalism that's very evil. Uh, Again, I think capitalism is has been so financialized and globalized that it it's material blind and it's energy blind, and it has no real ethics or moral values. And any lip service to human rights or democracy or freedom or whatever is just lip service. It's just nonsense to keep the plebs and proles, people like us, playing along and thinking we're doing our part. So yeah, everybody got their voter badge. Harris people lost, but they participated. So congratulations for doing that. Good for you. A lot of people have faith in Trump, so let's see what he does. Um, I'm extremely worried, but who cares now? Because let's say Trump and Vance continue, I'll probably be dead by the time something else happens. So I'll never see what I can imagine the world could be like. It'll never even come close, ever. So I might as well just uh, be happy for the people who are happy and be compassionate towards the people who feel like they lost and they got a gut punch, and try to make more money, have more fun, do more art, and just live my life because there's nothing I can do. So I have to be a bit stoical about it. Last time I was a little bit more perturbed, but Americans love con men. They love Elon Musk, and they're happy about it. So, you've got, I like Dana White, the UFC guy, because I'm a UFC fan. So he's a Trump guy. He loves the Trumps. I have no reason to believe that Dana White is a bad guy or evil or anything. And I'm guessing that Putin and Trump aren't evil either. They're just really good players. And I really have to hand it to Trump. He is amazingly resilient. He is a strong guy in the sense that he never gives up. The lawfare argument that the Republicans have is a real thing. They tried to put him away, impeaching him and everything, and they couldn't. He's the real Teflon Don. He puts to shame a lot of these gangsters from New York City in the past. He's amazing. You can't even get him on a technicality like they did with Al Capone. And, you know, a lot has been written about how Joe Kennedy, the old Kennedy, was a booze runner and a gangster. A lot of these wealthy people, they had to crack a few eggs to get super rich. And once you get to a certain point, like Musk is at now, you don't get poor. You don't go totally bankrupt. You never do. Epstein and people like that, it's not about their being good guys. They're not good guys. They're bad guys. But they play the game pretty damn good, even though the game is horrific and grotesque and corrupt. And people tend to freaking love them for it. We want to believe in winners. We want to associate with winners, with big shots and tough guys and rich people. So we have a lot of crazy characters in the culture that I think are grotesque people, but most people tend to love them. So who the hell am I? You know, um, I'm nobody. So what I think doesn't really matter. I don't know why I'm talking to myself on camera. Maybe I just need to do that. It's kind of therapy or something. But I want to say to you, 2 or 3 or 4 people who might watch this, that uh, life didn't come to an end. Life goes on. And there's still a lot we could do if we wanted to invest our time and energy in doing things. I'm still going to write a piece about that for my blog that nobody will read just because I want to work it out in my own mind and thinking um, what could be done. Um, and yeah, life's pretty damn good here where I'm sitting, so I don't have much to complain about, really. I had a big mole, ugly and scratchy, cut out of me, and the biopsy came back. Didn't have skin cancer. So for now, whatever is in there brewing is in check, and I've got my health. And I hope you do too. And I hope that mentally, psychologically, you're fine. And my heart goes out to all the working people in the United States that feel oppressed and disempowered. And if you're happy now that Trump got elected and you feel hopeful, I'm happy for you. And, you know, if you feel better over the next 4 years, I'm glad you feel better. Even if things get worse. I don't wish people to be miserable. I don't want people to be suicidal. I want them to be optimistic. And unfortunately, I think that the optimism is pretty shallow and empty when it comes to putting it through the lens of reality, a reality check. But someone once said that the only word that is meaningless without quotes around it is reality. So enjoy the simulation, folks. Congratulations, President Donald J. Trump, 47th President of the United States in New Miracles. Booleum T. Out.